My name's Billy. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm Angelo from Philadelphia, PA.
So, if I could go back to talking to my 16, 17-year-old self, right? And I could talk to him and I could give him some advice as to what to do differently in life to not end up in the position that I ended up in. I would have a lot of things to say to that kid, you know, and like, one of the main things that I would tell him would be to stick to your moral code. When you make a line in the sand, don't cross that line for nobody. Don't change up yourself for nothing. You know, like I was raised well. I wasn't raised, you know what I mean, like to do the things that I did. I wasn't raised to go rob people. I wasn't raised to sell drugs. That's not what I was taught. You know what I mean? I did those things, and I am a product of my environment, but I did those things to fill this internal void. I did those things to be part of a crew, to be accepted. You know what I mean? And like, I would tell my younger self that like there's no need for acceptance in life. Like, to just be yourself. That's probably the most key piece of advice I can give to a 16, 17-year-old kid who's going through the struggle.
If I could talk to myself when I was younger, I would say, don't take the little shit so seriously. Everybody ain't looking at you. It's better to be nice. Drugs and violence don't get you anywhere in life. You're going to suffer tremendously. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be in prison. You're going to be, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's all going to happen. And people did tell me that, and I didn't listen.
But I think that if you did listen, you could have avoided those things.
Yeah, but nobody's going to listen. Reality is, they're not going to listen. They're not. They don't care to, because they're in the moment. You know what I'm saying? You're in that moment. But you got to be able to separate, now and next week. You know what I'm saying? Because I never worried about next week. I was always what feels good right this minute, right now.
Instant gratification.
And that was my primary concern: is how can I not feel the way I'm feeling right this second? What do I have to put in my body to do that, or what do I have to put in somebody else's body to do that? Or whatever. And that kind of living don't really get you anywhere. It gets you weird tattoos and a rap sheet. That's what it gets you. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
We were brought up very similar. We were raised in very similar backgrounds. We basically have the same nationality, and though we grew up in different cities, we both grew up in the inner city. And do you feel that like the way that you were raised took an effect on your drug use? Or on your addiction?
It was definitely more acceptable to be using drugs where I was as an adolescent and as a young adult. Which I'm not that old, but I'm saying like it was okay. Everybody around me was doing it, but I tend to destroy myself while other people know when to stop. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. See, like for me, like when I grew up, like drug use was an accepted thing. It was part of like the character that I wanted to portray. You know what I mean? So like eating Xanax and smoking weed and drinking every weekend. You know what I mean? Like that was okay. There was nothing wrong with that. Everybody was doing it. You know what I mean? It was exactly what you said. That I didn't know when to stop. When my friends went home, I kept going. You know what I mean? And like that was the difference between me and those kids. Like I got a lot of friends back home that could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? They do the same drugs that I do, but the difference is that they pick it up, they do it on a Friday, Saturday night, and they put it down. And that's it. You know what I mean? For me, like I can't stop.
And, what do you think about like what your mother thinks about you now? You know what I'm saying? Like my family, they don't want nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? As a result of my lifestyle and the drugs and all that. I feel sad about that because there were times, when I had the love of my family, and I guess they still love me in a sense, but they don't want nothing. They don't want me around. I come by, the cops are being called. It's true. South Florida's nice.
Everybody wants to talk about like let's put the drugs down, and like life's got to get better once the drugs are out of the picture. And to a degree, that is the case. But the problem is that once I put the drugs down, I put down the only solution that I ever knew. You know what I mean? That was the answer to all my problems. That answered all the internal stuff that I go through. And I put that down, and I still have this void. I still have this internal battle with myself. I still hate myself. And like, that's the key to this thing, is that it's about an entire psychic change. You know what I mean? It's about changing every way that I think, every way that I was brought up. Because if I don't do that, then what's the point? If I put the drugs down, but like, you know what I mean? Like I'm peeing clean, but still living dirty, there's no point to that. You know what I mean? There's no point to me just putting the drugs away and still going out and hanging out in the corner and still going out and doing bad things and, you know, not being able to rest my head at night. You know what I mean? So like, it's about changing every aspect of my life. It's about total psychic change, moral psychology. Like it's about changing the way that I think. You know,
you develop a conscience. Sorry, cut you off. You develop a conscience as you get clean. You know what I'm saying? When you're getting high, I will walk over anybody. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I have to do to get another one or to get what I want, I will do it. You know what I'm saying? And if you're in my way, that's bad luck. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, buddy. That's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, the things we do in our addiction are disgusting. And we glorify them in our minds and make it like, you know, oh, it's some, you know, some amazing story. You know what I'm saying? Like, in reality, I'm just a hopeless drug addict and doing whatever you can do to get another one. And saying whatever I gotta say. Manipulating, beguiling others, just generally being a piece of shit. And, you know, I don't want to live that way. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what's going on from here to the future. I already know what that is. I know what getting high is like. I know all that. I've been doing it my whole life since I was, you know, 12, 13 years old. And it's of no benefit to me to know how you did drugs. You know what I'm saying? If I say anything to a newcomer, it's not. I want to talk about, like, what is your plans? You know what I'm saying? What do you want in life? You know what I mean? And you talk to me when I'm getting high, somebody asks me, what do you want in life? I say, I want another one. You know what I'm saying? Because that's as far as my mind goes.
And that's one of the, like, the tricks that my mind plays on. You know what I mean? Like, my mind will tell me, like, when, like, treatment centers love to tell you, oh, just play the tape through. When my mind plays the tape through, it only shows me the good parts. You know what I mean? My mind only tells me about, like, the fun. My mind only reminds me about, like, the great times that, you know what I mean, me and Angelo could have ripping and running through South Florida. My mind only tells me about, like, hanging out at the bar, picking up the chick, you know what I mean, jumping in the car and things are great. My mind don't remind me about the feeling of looking in the mirror after that night's over and being disgusted with myself. Yeah. My mind don't remind me of the phone call that I gotta make to my dad of like, hey dad, guess what? I relapsed again. My mind don't tell me those things when I play the tape. And like that's the problem with like the idea of like, because like I can stay sober in an institution, no problem. Stick me in there 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months, a year, no problem. I can stay sober, I can be a compliant client, I can go to every group and I can tell you how group runs. That doesn't keep me sober when I hit the outside. Because when I hit the outside and I'm no longer doing work on myself, I'm no longer trying to better myself, I start to become restless, I get irritable, I get discontented, and all of a sudden, I'm out ripping and running again.
Alright, so I was staying in this basement. It's all Section 8, like people on disability for being like, most of the people in there were like developmentally disabled, and they all smoke crack. And I was staying in the basement on a cot, just drinking all day, selling everybody in the building crack. And there was no door on the, there was no door like down to the basement. So like these insane crackheads would just come downstairs and wander in and like be like touching me and shit in my sleep, asking me if I had any rock. And I always had rock, but I mean it was like, that was a sketchy point in my addiction. And that's just where addiction can take you guys.
I've been in a few of them positions myself. You know, I never had a crackhead rub me in my sleep, but I would try it if someone asked, you know?
A lot of times I would wake up naked places.
All right, so this has been the first production of the Billy and Angelo show. From addiction to sober living.
Why is it the Billy and Angelo show?
What do you mean? Because Billy and Angelo, that's how it goes first.
No,
Billy.
it should be Angelo and Billy.
No,
A is before B.
Billy and Angelo.